Wog, and welcome back to the Red Ones Go Faster. I'm obviously not Old Big Mek, and today we're going to be talking about spaceships!
That's right, in today's episode we are indeed talking about spaceships, and Best Grot is going to be taking the reins on most of it because, well, it's still broken. Because, you know, gravity. Yeah. Alright, let's get into it.
So, this is a spaceship. Yep, a spaceship. Yep, that's a spaceship, y'all. Okay, so, and this is what we're going to be talking about today.
Alright, what Best Grot is going on about is actually flyers, even though, yes, indeed, some of them do actually go into space. They're dropped from orbit down onto the battlefield. You see, Warhammer 40K has always had flyers in the game. All the way back into the olden days, there's always been something called the Thunderhawk. And the Thunderhawk is the most, iconic 40K kit of all time. It's also the most expensive. I think Age of Squidmar did a build on one and then sold it for charity and got over 10 grand for it or something like that. They're incredibly rare and they're gigantic. But yeah, the Thunderhawk was always a thing. And somewhere around 5th, 6th edition, Games Workshop decided that they were going to start actually adding flyers into the game to be used on the tabletop on the regular. And that's where you get things like our little spaceshipy friend here from Best Grot's Ultramarines. Now, obviously, they're a little proportioned funny, but they are super cute and they are super fun to play with, even though the rules right now aren't the greatest. They still make some of the best tabletop display things you can have in your army, which is why everybody wants them. Case in point, my Burnabama. You see, orcs have some of the best designed flyers in the entire game. The kit is entirely modular, and you can make every single version out of the base kit. So there's the Daka Jet, the Burnabama, the Blitzabomber, which is the dive bombing one, and then the Wazbomb Blastojet. And there's all sorts of different pieces in the kit to help you build all the different variations. And they're just super, super cool looking on your shelf and with your army. Setting up an armies on parade feels sort of incomplete without some sort of flyer. And as Games Workshop made more flyer kits, they got bigger and more involved. It's become like troop transport ships with turrets and stuff on them, and all sorts of really cool moving parts that make them really dynamic and fun to play with and pose with your armies. Culminating in even Forge World getting in on the action and producing resin trans kits. So those are the Forge World kits where you buy a plastic kit from Games Workshop, you know, the regular Warhammer kit, and then you buy this resin add-on kit to completely transform it into something different. This one right here, I believe, is called an Iron Eagle, and yeah, it's got a really crazy ball turret setup on the sides, and these twin link assault cannons on the front, and is just all sorts of menacingly cool and very, very heavy because most of it is indeed resin, and they're just really super cool pieces. I mean, this would make an excellent centerpiece to any Beaky army. Hint, if you want that one, it's currently for sale on our Discord server, linked down in the description below. It's free to go on the Discord. Old Big Mek's got to raise some money. And some of these flyers even became so ubiquitous that they became like part and parcel of the rules. So on Imperial Guard, for example, the Valkyrie kit here, this is what your drop troops drop out of. So you kind of can't really take the troops without taking the flyer in order to get everything to work correctly. Now, that might not necessarily hold true through all the editions and whatnot, but it still, like when you're looking at your army, if you're looking at your collection, having it on the tabletop doing armies on parade or something like that, if you've got a bunch of drop troops and you don't have the thing they're dropping out of, you kind of look like a fool. So that's why everybody wants these kits. They're just so much fun. Hey, you! Yeah, you there, watching the video. You want to have the same drip Old Big Mek wears? You need to check out our merch store at theredonesgofaster.com, where you can get our cool new Red Squig watch beanie. Or Red Squig the baseball cap. Not to mention the Red Squig shirt. We also have our original water bottle in metal. And of course the dirty paint water mug too. But even more fun is the Go Faster design from BenBam, available in black, fun colors, and even the full color hoodie style. Get yours all today at theredonesgofaster.com. All right, back to the video.
Big Mek, technically can't spaceships be anything if you just add enough engines to them?
You're not wrong. And when it comes to the flyers and the spaceships, it's not just 40K that they exist in. Games Workshop used to make a game called Aeronautica Imperialis, which was an epic scale game specifically for flyers. And they made the full range. They had all the different Orc flyers and all the different Imperial flyers, Chaos flyers, Tau stuff. It was really, really cool and a really popular game. And the models were some of the best models Games Workshop has ever done, bar none, like legit. The problem is when they changed Epic into Adeptus Titanicus and they changed it to Horus Heresy, all of the Xenos races and all of the non-Imperial / non-Chaos races disappeared. And so none of those flyers are used in the game anymore, which is really sad because that game was so good and those models were so excellent. They're really missing out on that.
Whoa, actual spaceship.
Yeah, that's right, Grot. There's also Battlefleet Gothic. Now, Battlefleet Gothic is
tiny
one
spaceships.
of, yes, it is tiny spaceships. It is one of, if not the most requested game to be reprinted in Games Workshop entire history. The game, while admittedly a little clunky and hard to play and kind of long and overly rules, had the coolest models. They made complete fleets of every single faction. You had Orcs, you had Imperials, you had Space Marines, had their own fleet separate from Imperials. They were really, really awesome. And you know, in the annals of the games, there's like Space Hulk and Battlefleet Gothic. And yeah, it just is super duper awesome because it is indeed legit spaceships. Now, the cool thing about this is they actually had squadrons that could fly from the carriers and go across back and forth throughout the battle, including the aforementioned Thunderhawks, which is really rad. So if you think about it, you could actually get 3 different scales of the same ship because you could get the little squadron of them in Battlefleet Gothic. You could get singles of them in the Epic / Adeptus Titanicus, and then you could get the full scale 40K version, which is really cool. All right, so that's going to do it for today's video on spaceships.
Spaceships!
Yes, spaceships. Thanks, Grot. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in on this one. It is still Orktober. We're going to keep trying to bring you a new video every day of the month, despite this. So hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow. And until then, you ready, Grot? Warhammer!
Spaceships!